So it's Thursday today. I am just getting ready to head to the allotment now. My missions for today are to just tidy up the plot. There's actually an inspector going around and looking at all of the allotments today, so I want to make sure we're following all of the rules. But also it's just a bit of a mess. We have now finally got the last bed dug, so next job is to just kill off all of the grass that we have left, basically. So I'm going to move all of the cardboard and the compost bags to properly cover all the paths so we can start doing that. And I also want to tackle the peas because they are a mess. They just need a little bit of TLC. I also still need to build the pea/bean structure, so I need to start thinking about how I'm going to do that. But yes, I'm just going to put a bag together, get my shoes on, and I will meet you at the plot. So I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes when I get to the allotment, I find myself just standing and staring at it for a while, not really sure how to get started or what to do first. And this was definitely one of those days. I was quickly realising that I was going to be way too hot in a jumper because it's officially that time of year, which is very exciting. But also that I needed some scissors or shears to help me trim the grass around the edges of the beds. So I did decide to nip home. We are very lucky, we only live a 5-minute walk away from the plot, so that comes in very handy times like this. So I just nipped home, popped on a t-shirt and came back with some very rusty shears. My plan here is basically just to kill off the remaining grass on the plot. Because we don't have a strimmer that we can use at the allotment and we don't really want to buy one. It just makes sense because it's only a small plot and the summer's coming up, so walking on the dirt isn't going to be an issue anyway. I'm just moving all the cardboard and compost bags onto the grass to start killing it off and weighing it down with the turf that we've removed from the beds. I also trimmed around the edges of the bed so that no grass was sticking out, so hopefully this will be the last time I have to do this. We are going to have to walk around on the cardboard etc. for a while, which is no big deal. It doesn't look very aesthetically pleasing, but that doesn't really matter either. And as soon as the grass starts dying off, the paths should compact down anyway. And doing it like this means that come winter time we can decide if we want to wood chip them, if we want to move the beds around. It just leaves options a lot more open than if we were to wood chip them now.
Never been to California, never been to LA, so I'll stay home and write these songs, pretend I'll make it someday. My friends are getting married, they're all settling down, so I'll lay here, watch the ceiling fan go round and round. And it's always gone too fast, like a trip to the beach or the life of James Dean.
Okay, let's have a little walk around and see what's changed. We did quite a few things last weekend off camera, including planting some marigolds. This was the mystery carrot that was over here, which I actually pulled up because I was convinced it was fool's parsley. And when we pulled it up, there was a tiny little carrot on there. I was gutted, so reburied him there, but something's been digging at it. So I'm no longer hopeful that that's going to survive. But we have got one carrot pulling back through after the slug damage. And the parsnips, now they've got this wood chip barrier, are doing well. So at the very least, we should get 3 parsnips. Onions are thriving as always. Some of them are super thick now. Look at the size of this. Obviously it doesn't do justice on camera, but still pretty chunky. And these are the carrots that I put in less than a week ago. and they've already germinated, and I think a few parsnips are on their way through as well. So that is really good news. I'm super happy about that. We might actually still get some carrots. And also the one that I transplanted into this bed came from here, so hopefully that means that they'll grow well in here. Some more marigolds I put in the other day as well. Super excited about these. We have so many potatoes, beans coming through that I desperately need to build something for them to climb up. My peas, however, are just all being eaten as they grow. Leave them alone, slugs. It's not fair. So we'll leave them a bit longer and see if we actually get anything worth building a structure for. These are huge. So I think that's definitely going to have to be our first harvest. Look at the size of them. Wow. And the spinach. But again, this structure is just a mess. The peas are clinging onto the net. The back path has just been incorporated into it. It's just a mess. I've just spent the last hour tidying this section up. So we got most of the final bed dug at the weekend on the L shape. We are going to extend it a little bit more either end. So yeah, this is looking a lot neater than it was an hour ago, believe it or not. I know it still looks a bit messy, but it's just going to have to be how it is for now. This bed excites me a lot. Look at those. They look so healthy and happy. And so does the beetroot. Now it's been thinned out. Probably need to thin those out again. Very happy broccoli and cauliflower too. They've probably at least doubled in size since I put them in. My last job to do before I go home today is to do the same as I've done here to this bit of path, and sort the peas out a bit. It's a bit of a mess, but I'm going to get on with that because it is very hot. It doesn't look too warm, but it is super humid and I am sweating. So I'm going to set you up so you can see what I'm doing, and we will get on with it so I can go home for some lunch.
I think there's another universe where I haven't yet felt pain. And maybe in that other universe, I'm a flower and you're the rain. I think somewhere in a different life, I'm still 7 in 2nd grade. And I'm so happy that I feel alright, and that I haven't met my brain. And maybe somewhere in a different world, my mom's a bug inside a tree. My dad's the scientist who captured her, but now it's time to set her free. Somehow in this skull of mine, I find it hard to see the truth, 'cause I romanticize a boring life.
Once I had finished covering up all of the paths, I just put these very sad looking lettuce seedlings into this bed here. They may well die, but they were going to die in the greenhouse anyway, so I am willing to let that one go. I then just gave everything a good water and I headed home. And the next time I came back, it was a beautiful sunny Saturday evening. I spotted these gorgeous alliums on my way in. But I decided that tonight was the night I was going to tackle this bean and pea structure that I keep banging on about. I just keep putting it off because I'd basically planted them in the wrong orientation. I should have just thought about it a little bit more before I went ahead and did it. But like I say all the time, I'm learning, so it's fine. But I decided to now just deal with that by building an A-frame over the whole bed. I thought this meant that I could tie pieces of twine down the bottom there if I really need them to have extra support in the middle. And it just seemed like the best solution. I then just removed these bamboo canes from the end and left the net attached to the end of the A-frame to hold these peas up. I only actually had to move 2 runner beans. I know they don't really like to be moved, but sometimes needs must. And I'm just going to leave the rest of the peas in place. I did consider taking them all up and replanting them, but that just seemed like a little bit of a waste, and there is still time if I wanted to re-sow some in the right place a little bit later on. Good evening. I am down at the plot. It is now Sunday evening. I thought I would just pop down and take a look at my handiwork from last night, make sure it's still standing, which it is. That's good. Peas look pretty happy to be clinging on to there. I've literally only come down to water everything and just check everything's doing okay. Wow, lots of growth on the beetroot. It's looking super healthy. And I am very happy with my little A-frame that I built last night. I think it might be a little bit difficult to get to some of the peas in the middle when they're ready to pick, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So now that we have sorted out the peas and beans, the next thing to start thinking about is some kind of structure for pumpkins, butternut squash and cucumber to climb up. I know you can just grow them on the floor, but they take up quite a lot of space, and in such a small plot I think it just makes the most sense to grow things vertically when I can. So I'm thinking about getting a couple of archways. I think that might be the best way to do it, but I'm just not sure whereabouts to put them. We've got this end of the bed left, this end of the onion bed. That one in the corner is going to be taken up with peppers, chilies and sweet corn, and then there's some space in the brassica bed too. So we've got options, but I just need to start thinking about that. So if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them in the comments. But for now, thank you so much for joining me for another video. I will leave you with this gorgeous sunset from my kitchen window, and I will be back in a few days with another video. Bye for now.